The International Longshoremen's Association's first strike in nearly 50 years.
Analysts say a dock strike could cost the U.S. economy about $5 billion a day.
These big owners not taking care of the people that get them there.
45,000 dock workers went on strike today. We have $5 billion that will be lost every day that the dock workers are on strike. We have 36 ports shut down from Maine to Texas. This strike has the potential to be the black swan in the U.S. economy. I'm being serious, guys. This strike itself can literally itself take down the U.S. economy.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Guys, listen, this is something that we need to talk about. This is a big one. And it's not only big from the surface level of where we are in the economy and where the strikes are. This strike is so important because of the players that are involved in this. And how long do we think this is going to last? Guys, this is a tough one, but we need to go over it. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, I have a newsletter that will give you tremendous value. Yes, tremendous value, and it's free. How can you beat free? You cannot. And as always, if you need any type of commercial or investment financing, I've been a lender for almost 20 years. I can assist you with that.
Because these guys have been here since midnight when their contract expired. So obviously people are a little tired as the sun rises this morning. But right now, hundreds of workers here picketing at Port Newark after that contract expired. The International Longshoremen's Association's first strike in nearly 50 years. This strike has essentially shut down ports all across the eastern seaboard from Maine to Texas. On Monday, the ILA rejected the U.S. Maritime Alliance's final contract proposal. The union is demanding better wages and more protections against automation.
You guys know what my position is on these companies. These companies aren't loyal. Do what you have to do for you and your family. Get as much money as you possibly can, whatever you got to do.
You're goddamn right.
So the strike portion, I think everybody kind of knew that it was coming, right? There could have been a contract that was signed right before midnight to kind of solve all this, but the way it was looking, the negotiations just weren't panning out, and it looked like we were going to hit this strike, and these guys knew exactly. They're playing chess. They knew exactly that they were going to ask for a pay increase this year because it is an election year. And I don't blame them. Do what you have to do. But the importance of this strike, guys, I need you guys to hear this. The importance of this strike is really big, and the timing is, it couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse. Remember when I say this all the time, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And what has this whole year been? It's been pretty bad when it comes to the economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems.
And I am getting more and more and more layoff videos. Every morning I wake up, there's 6 or 7 more layoffs that are happening. And these aren't small numbers. I expected this to really show up, and I figured that they weren't going to get a deal done because of what they're asking for. And what they're asking for is a big pay increase that'll last over, I think it's like 77% over the next 6 or 7 years of an increase. And they want increase in 401ks and some other stuff, and protections against automation, which is artificial intelligence. They don't want to be replaced by robots. And I get that. I totally understand that. But the significance of this, guys, I need you guys to understand this. This will ripple affect how much things cost, how soon you get things, your holiday seasons, and wait until next year. Let's be clear. A lot of these indicators that will happen in this $5 billion a day loss, do you guys understand that? $5 billion a day. If you think that this isn't going to have a ripple effect that will probably, you won't see the chunk of it until next year after the holiday season, you're madly mistaken.
Why you crazy?
Let's hear exactly what the port workers are saying. What is the sentiment there and what's actually happening?
What message do you have for J.D. Vance and Tim Walz?
The message I have is I hope you can be influential in doing something about these big owners not taking care of the people that get them there.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Orlando, why would he take the time instead of preaching and telling everybody on national TV what they're fighting for? Why would he take the time to pitch something towards politicians? Well, I could tell you the reason why. Well, if you guys didn't know, with this strike, the president has the executive authority to shut the strike down. That you heard me. The President Biden, can literally do an executive order and say, we're going to force you back to work. Forget your pay. Go back to work. He can do that. Just on the agreement, just sign his name. And they have to go back to work.
I didn't think you had it in you, and I mean that.
And you guys know my channel isn't politics. But in this layoff, there is some politics there. There is some games being played because of the election year. And these guys know it. The union leaders know it. That's the reason why they're saying to these guys, listen.
If you go ahead and make a choice that is against us, we may not vote for you.
Sensational.
That's kind of what they're saying there. So we have a scenario here where I don't believe that the president will do that, right? He won't do that. It really is a bad move to do that. He just might as well just let it play out, because if you go ahead and you force people back to work, you have people just quitting because of the pay. It's just going to look bad. Union is going to say bad things. It's just not going to work out in the favor of whoever says no to it. So no one's going to say no to it. Everybody's just going to kind of let it play out to see the way it is. It is interesting because of this factor, is that how long can the president allow the economy to go down, down, and down without some type of a mutual agreement between the port workers and the employer?
Thousands of dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas could walk off the job tomorrow if a contract agreement is not reached. The sticking points are better pay and job protection from automation. A strike could affect nearly half of the nation's imports, leading to a massive supply chain disruptions and surging prices. Analysts say a dock strike could cost the U.S. economy about $5 billion a day. While President Biden has the authority to intervene, administration officials say he is not planning to do so.
Again, I mentioned this early in the video. I also don't see the president intervening. It's just too risky. Political, he's headed out. He's got to take care of his party, and the other side's got to take care of. So I could just see a hands-off event happening right now. They want these guys to solve this as soon as possible, because here's the thing. Nobody wins in this scenario.
Wait, what?
I'm telling you, no one wins in this scenario. Either side doesn't win. Nobody wants to go in or be left with an economy that's in shambles. And the way that we're going, it's going to be that way. If you think as a port worker, and again, I've said this over and over again, let me say it one more time. I want you to have a job. I want you to get the most that you possibly can get. But if you think that there will not be any consequences from this strike, and you think that a politician is going to save you in either direction, you think that a politician is going to know your name and know your family and treat you as such, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. These guys will lay you on a tray, stick you right in the oven.
You're nothing to me now.
And I'm trying to let you guys know that even in situations like this, where you think that you have all the pieces in play, you think you got the opposition, the people, the companies, the politicians, all on one side, and you got them exactly where you want them. If they give in to you and give you exactly what you want, it won't be everybody. I need you to understand that. I need you to understand that it won't be everyone. It is 45,000, 50,000 of you guys, and you think that every last one of you will get exactly what you want with no consequences. That means no layoffs. That means no pay reductions. That means no furloughs. That means the best of the best of the best all the way across. It's not happening.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Where have we seen this before? We've seen this story. Yes. Is it a different story? Yes, it is. But it's the same theme and plot every single time.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
And 6 months from now, look, I even made this prediction with Boeing, and 30 minutes later, 3 hours later, they were already cutting people on the chopping block. They were literally giving out papers as I was releasing my video. They did it fast. That was at $100 million. Nothing, a drop in the bucket compared to what's happening right now.
Lindsay, the biggest issues in this negotiation are wages and automation. I'm told that these two sides are at an impasse on those issues, and at this point, a deal is unlikely. Governor Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, just spoke in this building behind me here at the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey headquarters, and she said that she is fully expecting a strike. So that means 47,000 dock workers will walk off the job if the International Longshoremen's Association and the U.S. Maritime Alliance do not reach a deal today, Lindsay.
Do you guys see this? Do you guys see it? This is what the dock workers are asking for. 77% wage increase over the next 6 years. Job protection from automation, which is basically AI. Robots. They do not want to be replaced with robots in the next, 10 years, where it's kind of leading that way in the direction. Things are getting scanned. Robots are picking things up, dropping them in place, packing the metal containers, sorting. It's all really done by computers. It's pretty much managed by humans. And they don't want to be shut out of that whole entire scenario where they are no longer even managing it. Again, these guys are fighting to protect themselves, their families. I get that. And I salute that. I think you should 100% do that.
Yeah, damn right.
I'm the other guy on your shoulder. and I'm whispering, but do you think that everyone will get that? Do you think these companies won't try to screw you over? Do you think that if you stretch this out long enough, that politicians that you guys believe in will come in to save you and say, we will force these guys to pay you. We will force you to go back to work. We will force blah, 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 blah. Do you believe that is the case? Because if you do, we don't want to be in a Boeing situation, guys. Port workers. Port workers. I'm telling you, you don't want to be Boeing in this situation.
In the region, Boeing is now threatening sweeping cuts and layoffs as they now enter day 5 of a machinist strike.
You don't want to be a Boeing employee thinking that you're going to get the world. And then you get, like Illinois or something. You're like, oh. I mean, we asked for the world and they gave us Illinois.
He got cooked.
I think, unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are in this space here who really think that is not a possibility. That the only possibility is them to get 100% slam dunk when, they want to do a straight shutout of 4 NBA games, winning by 100 on each one.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
If dock workers strike, what will be the impact on the nation's supply chain? How soon could we start seeing shortages or price spikes?
So economists say that this could be the biggest disruption to the flow of goods in and out of the U.S. since the height of the pandemic. I want to put this into perspective for you here. Governor Hochul, for example, just told us that New Yorkers should maybe, if they're planning on buying a car this week, they might want to call the car dealership ahead to make sure there are no issues with that. But she also urged people to not overreact. She said that she's not expecting a shortage of essential goods anytime soon. She also said that some distributors have been stockpiling goods to make sure that the impact of this is mitigated or limited in some way.
They're saying, don't worry. Hey, you may have to call your car dealership, that's in town, or you may have to call them and double check if you want to buy that BMW or that Hellcat. They're telling you, you may want to call in advance and say, do y'all have that 2024, 2025 Hellcat or BMW 7 Series? That's what they're saying. Because if you don't do that, they won't have enough. But don't panic. Don't panic. Because here's the thing. If you do call your car dealership, and if they do have that BMW or Hellcat, you don't think they're going to sell it at a premium?
You've been bamboozled.
Some of you guys, listen, I'm talking to you. You're going to get a do-over. Not really, but you could theoretically get a do-over. You bought a car during the pandemic, and now the opportunity is to buy a car right now. I'm telling you, they're gonna charge you a premium.
Man, I'm dead.
Remember when you bought that BMW or that Hellcat or that Mercedes? You know, that $100,000 car? But you bought it for other people to see, but it stayed in the garage? Nobody saw it but you. Remember that? Remember that feeling. Don't jump off the ledge and buy that expensive car. Because again, I know what the gentleman on the newscast said. He said, listen, just don't panic. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Here's one thing you can guarantee. It's not going to be cheaper with this going on, with the port strike going on, with cars being delayed, sitting on the ocean. It's not going to be cheaper. Is it going to be more expensive? You bet your bottom dollar it is. Some of you guys won't believe me. It's like my grandmother used to say, you don't believe fat meat is greasy. Now, listen, I understand some of you guys may not know what that means, but it basically means a lot of people want to learn the hard way. It's unfortunate, but that is the truth. I'm telling you guys, mark my word. Go ahead. Go ahead. Things will be more expensive all the way around.
What if that could happen on the overall U.S. economy? I mean, that figure, $5 billion a day.
So economists have told us that even a 2-week strike could cause issues and disruptions in the economy into the next year. Now, there is some good news here as far as something that might be on a lot of people's minds right now: holiday shopping. Those toys and those toys that people want, the presents that they're trying to get for their kids, things like that. Most of that is already on in the warehouses and ready to go here. So there won't be a huge impact in that regard.
Sorry, guys. Oh, man. Look, you know, if it isn't one thing that America is just loves to do, they love to sell. And they're trying to sell you on, hey, look, we know all this stuff is going on. We know that the economy is going down. We know that there's this strike happening, that goods are going to go up. But don't worry. Don't worry. Because you could still use your 36% credit card to buy products that are made in China that we think will go up. Huh? And again, these guys are telling you this because they're saying that people knew that this strike was happening. This wasn't some secret. Everybody kind of saw that it was going in that direction. So a lot of store owners, Walmart, Amazon, they stacked up, they're saying. They stacked up their holiday goods. But the question is, yeah, they stacked up the holiday goods, but wouldn't that mean that they still have a limited supply? And here's the thing. When a store or a company has a limited supply of everything, what do? I mean, I'll wait. Put it in the comment section. What does a company do if they have a limited supply of goods to give? Oh, that's right. They sell them at normal prices. Oh, that's right. They actually drop the price, right? Isn't that what happens with a limited supply? Only if we had an example of what limited supply does to people when they try to sell something. Only if, we had a time where there were low toilet tissue. You couldn't buy meat and all this other stuff because it was just a shortage. What happened to those goods? Did they go down or up in price? This is what I'm talking about, guys, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, this is craziness. If you think that prices will go down, we already know prices are high. We know this. Bacon, ragu sauce, all of it, it's expensive. We know this. And if you think that prices will go down, I don't know what to tell you.
Use your common sense.
I need you to be cautious. I need you going into the holiday season, be cautious at what you buy. How do you beat something like this? Oh, I can tell you, don't buy goods on credit cards at 36% interest. But make sure that when you buy these holiday gifts, that you're getting a good price, it's affordable to you. And here's the biggest thing. Do you really need the items? Do you really need those items? Do you really need an 8th TV in your house? Do you really need that new PS5 Pro? That's $700. That doesn't do anything. That's a waste of money. That doesn't even have a disk drive.
However, there could be some impact to fresh fruit down the road. There could be some impact to fish that's imported. There could be an impact in the grocery store, and that could in turn affect prices, Lindsay.
Tim McNicholas, thank you so much for joining us.
So at the very end of it, he comes to the conclusion that, well, there may be some price increase. Meat and chicken and all these other things that are imported, yeah, there could be a little bit. A little bit, guys. Don't worry, a little bit.
Do you believe me yet?
As always, guys, I've made this video long enough, but the truth of the matter is the reason why this video is important to me is because it can really set off everything else that's going to happen from this point. I want you to be really cognizant of the fact of this making a chain reaction to more layoffs. Because why would there be more layoffs? Well, there's going to be more layoffs because companies now will have to fast track because they're not making as much money. After this holiday season, if prices are more expensive and people can't afford them, or, you know, if they don't have a certain amount of product to sell to actually make X amount of dollars, companies will start laying off more people. And it's already was heading that direction. It just seems like this event is going to fast track it to happen a lot sooner, guys. Anyway, I hope you got value out of this content. We all know you want to get all your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, and also get you into your first rental property. And the information you will get from that video, it will be gold. See you in the next one. Thanks.